Hi, everybody. I am the Gringa, and you could find me on YouTube. The channel is At Home with the Gringa. I react to music. I react to music that is all outside the US. But today, I am super honored to be here with the horror miser, Mr. Monty G. This is his podcast episode, The Women in Horror. And I get to talk about the women in horror, the final girl, and all the wonderful women that make horror awesome. So, thank you so much for being here. And I am super happy to be here. All right. Thank you.
Y'all ready for this? Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the horror miser Money G.
Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the horror miser, Money G. Welcome once again to my favorite series, Women in Horror, where we celebrate women's contribution to the genre of horror. And I would once again to thank Mercy, my good friend Mercy, for introducing my next guest. Her name is Gringa from the YouTube channel At Home with Gringa. Say hello, Gringa.
Hi, everybody. Oh, can you hear me? Let me move this
I
a
can hear
little
you
bit
fine.
closer.
Yeah, I know. I can hear you. I can hear you fine.
All right, great. Thank
Now,
you.
for
Thank
what
you.
Now, for what Mercy tells me when she DM'd me about you, you are an '80s horror fiend.
I am. I am. I'm from, well, born in the 70s, in the late 70s. So like I grew up with all the great horror movie stuff. Like I think what was it? I was telling Mercy, like all I can remember is, as long as I can remember, horror has been in my life. So, like, my mom, she was really into the black and white horrors, like Night of the Living Dead, the Universal Monsters. My dad was in like the sci-fi, the sci-fi horror. My grandfather and I used to always watch Elvira, the
Mhm.
Macabre Theater every weekend.
Okay.
And then my babysitter, she like let me watch every single slasher movie. So so everybody had a part in this.
Okay, yeah, because that was actually going to be my first question. Because normally when I do the first questions I ask when I do my women in horror series, because you know how it is. How can a
Mhm.
woman or any girls or anybody else or a female like out of all the genres of film, why horror? Why pick a genre such as horror for you to love and enjoy? And obviously
Absolutely.
because you got exposed to it at a very young age, just like most people
Mhm.
do.
Absolutely. And the best thing about horror, in my opinion,
Mm,
is you can do anything with it. You know what I mean? Like you can experiment. You don't like if it's a drama, you have to stick with drama. If it's like a rom-com, you have to, but with horror, you can do anything with it. You can, anything you want, like found footage, the slasher and sci-fi, it all goes perfect.
mhm. Yeah, that is the one aspect that I do love of horror
Mhm.
because there's so many subgenres within the horror
Absolutely.
genre itself. You know, whether it's a slasher film,
Yeah.
supernatural, found
Yeah.
footage, horror comedy.
Right.
Religious horror,
Mhm.
possession, exorcist film,
Hauntings, yeah.
hauntings. There's so many subgenres in horror, so you're just not stuck in just one thing. Just like I said, when it's a drama, it has
Yeah.
to be a drama. When it's rom comedy, it's just rom
Mhm.
comedy. There's no other
You can't
subgenres within
play.
those. Yes. Yeah,
Exactly.
so that's very interesting because that's normally what my first thing when I ask about it. And so
Mhm.
obviously your family got you into watching horror. How old were you when you? What was the actual first horror film that you saw
The first horror movie that I can remember
though?
seeing, and it could have been when I was, like, 2 years old, was Night of the
Mhm.
Living Dead, you know?
Duh.
That's the best because, yeah, I just remember, like, that's as far as my memory goes back is just seeing the zombies trying to get into the house all black and white and everything, and I'm just like, "Oh my god."
Uh, yeah, that's good because I grew up in the '70s. I was
Yeah.
been born and raised in Philadelphia since 1970, since actually '63. But we came here. My mother and I, my brother came here
Yeah.
in 1970. So we're kind of almost basically the same.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Gen X. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm the last of the baby boomers because I was born in '63.
Oh, so you're, like, right there, yeah, I'm, like, the end of the Gen X because 'cause I'm
Mm.
77. Yeah.
No, okay, yes, yes. Did you ever get a chance to see? Because most people get jealous of me because I was actually lucky enough to see The Exorcist and all the other horror films that came out in the '70s when it first came out. A lot of people get jealous of the fact that I was able to experience that. Then it
Mm.
was fun seeing all those movies when it first came out during the
Oh,
'70s.
it has to just to see it on the big screen, like,
Mm,
we now, thank goodness, like, I just got, like, myself a projector, on
hmm
Amazon, so now I can project any movie on my wall, and so now I'm
hmm
going back to watch everything.
That's
And just
pretty good.
pretend
That's
I'm like
pretty.
I know, because now I can pretend like I'm at the movie theaters, and it's just so neat because it's like, yeah, an entire wall.
Oh yeah. Do you actually have a movie projector that you can project it on?
Yeah, but and it's really cool. It's you can let me see how do I explain it. Sorry, I have ADHD, so this is going to be a fun conversation.
Okay.
We might go over. So no, the projector is there's like a little attachment so you can plug in your
Mm.
camera so you can use apps with it. You
Oh,
can hook
okay.
up your DVD with it. So yeah, I just sit back on my couch and just watch everything now.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're
It's
talking
great.
about, though, because I'm a techie by trade.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
a
it's
techie
really
by
awesome.
trade.
I can take it everywhere.
No, okay, yeah, yeah. Because I actually have I have a master's, yeah, I have a bachelor's degree in information technology. So I've been doing this for over 30 years. So I think I know what you're talking about. That's pretty
Yeah.
good. That's pretty good that you actually have a projector because that's something I would love to experience at home is having a projector
Yes.
and put it up on the screen and probably scare my wife if she
Yeah,
ever saw some weird shit on the
absolutely.
on the screen.
Well, when I saw in the Amazon comments, on this, like the guy, some guy said his wife watches whatever, and then he watches something on a ceiling. So
Mm.
I thought that was great. And then somebody else watches it while they're taking a bath. I'm like, that's so smart.
Oh
You can like
yeah, that's the,
project anywhere.
that's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I know.
So
Mm.
next question is going to be, what are your thoughts regarding how women have been treated in horror films? Obviously, from the damsel in distress stage to how intelligent women roles are now when it
Yeah.
comes to horror films.
For me, it's you get the more emotional side from the women's point of view. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So like for example, the queen, Jamie Lee Curtis,
Hmm.
in Halloween, she to me, so this is just my opinion.
Okay.
To me, she's not the hero, she's not the victim because throughout the movie, she just goes. You know what I mean? She just goes. She's just she's walking to the house. She just so she's not like to me, she's not a hero and she's not a victim. She's just doing what she does. She just making it happen, I guess you can say. And it's from her point of view. So it takes you more on an emotional. So I think that with women, you get an emotional side to a horror movie, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
It makes sense to me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think when it comes to how women have been portrayed in horror films throughout the days, one of the great examples I give is from the original 1939 King Kongs to Peter Jackson's King Kong version.
Yes.
And you see the difference of the women, such as Faye Race Anne Downing to Naomi Watts's Ray Downing. Now,
Yes.
obviously, because of the era when
Mhm.
the film was made, Faye Ray's version of the character, she screams, she yells, and
Yeah,
that's basically what women did in those roles. She had to have a man save her.
you're right.
Unlike, yeah, unlike with Naomi Scott's character in Ray Downing, even
Mhm.
though she's very independent, when she gets captured by Kong, she doesn't scream. She yells at Kong. She fights back at Kong.
Yes.
And I think
Yes.
that's a vast difference how women are treated in between horror films as opposed to, like,
Mhm.
say, in the Damsel in Distress, whether it's the
Absolutely.
Universal Monster Pictures, whether it's the King Kong, whether it's the Hammer horror films. You always had to have a woman
Mhm.
looks very beautiful, probably sometimes not scantily dressed, so
Right.
especially in the Hammer horror film, as opposed to what the films that we have now, where women are they're not only are they more intelligent, but they're also damaged. They're not the versions anymore like we used to have in the day. You
Absolutely.
know?
Absolutely. I never even thought about the King Kong thing, how the evolution of
Mm,
the damsel in distress to a more strong woman,
mm.
stronger.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a
Because I
great
always bring
point.
that up because that gives you a great example. You have these two actresses. They're playing the same character, but they're different versions of it. Yeah.
Oh,
So I really.
100%.
Mm, yeah, so that's the reason why I like that particular evolution because, like I said before, I mean, even in slasher films, the obviously
Mhm.
now the typical final girls, which we'll get into in a moment,
Yeah.
they're no longer the nice, virginy, cute,
Mm,
and uppity. No, so the final girls now they're flawed. They have problems. They have their own issues, and they're
correct.
very intelligent. And they don't trip and fall every time and accidentally save themselves. They actually fight back, and they're very smart.
Absolutely, like when you were saying my earliest, the Nightmare, I'm sorry, Night of the Living Dead,
Hmm.
so my earliest memory, the woman in it, Barbara, she's silent, she's scared, she doesn't
Hmm.
say anything, she's the damsel in distress.
Hmm. Yeah, that's another great example. Is when you take a
Mm,
look at the Night of the Living Dead, the original version, as opposed to
mhm.
the remake version.
Yeah.
Same different, same character, but different versions of Barbara. Where
Yes.
in the remake version of Barbara, she is a bit timid at first, but she goes through a nice character arc where she get pissed off and she said, "That's
Yeah.
it."
Yes. You're right. You're 100% right.
Yeah, so that's a very great example when you see how women were portrayed back then to how they're portrayed now when it comes to horror films.
Absolutely. That's a great point. I didn't even think about that. The
Mhm.
evolution of it.
Speaking of that, how do you
Yeah.
feel about the evolution of final girl tropes in horror movies? It's like I said before, most final girls they were nice, they were virginies, they were the virgin girl, they were the good girl, as opposed to what we have right now. They're flawed. They're not the virginy type anymore. So how do you feel about the evolution of the final girl trope in horror films?
Like with the newer ones, not so much, but like Jamie Lee Curtis, could give as an example in the 1 and 2 horror movie is different than the version she is now,
Hmm.
with now she's like what is it called? A prepper? Somebody you know what I mean? Which is so not the Jamie Lee Curtis that was, the babysitter. So now she's like
Hmm.
the prepper, yeah, the prepper Jamie Lee, the prepper, what is it? Laurie Strode.
Yes. Hmm.
So that is quite a difference there for the final girl. And even I think Sally's in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Hmm.
She screaming and in the original and then in the remake, I think, she when she came back, she was just like this, you know, excuse my language, with this badass, with like the, getting ready with the gun and she's ready for him this time, it's totally different.
Yeah, that's a good example because because in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, she's screaming and screaming and screaming, but in
Yeah.
the Netflix version of it, yeah, she's kind of a badass. I mean, she's a marshal.
Yeah,
I,
she's gonna wait
she's
for
been
him.
wait, yeah, she's been waiting all this time to get a chance to go after Leatherface after what he did to her brother, and I thought it was a great contrast for her character, even though I don't like what they did to the character at the end of that movie. I thought it was an insult to her character.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we don't even go into the Halloween ones and everything like that. I mean, mm, it's art.
Mhm.
And I don't wanna say anything about anybody's art, you know what I mean? So
Mhm. Okay. How do you feel that women were disrespected or objectified during the early slasher films during the 80s with all that
mm,
gratuitous nudity? It's like we couldn't not see a slasher film unless we saw a woman's breast or a behind or sometimes full frontal nudity. It's just
y
like that's all they want to do. Do you feel as though women were objectified uh,
I
and taken
don't.
advantage of?
I really
Doing
don't.
that. Mhm,
No, I don't. Because for me, when you talk about 80s, horror, just know
mhm.
it's like it's blood, blood and boobs, and great special effects. But it's always great special effects and boobs. So but I never thought it's like an objective injecting thing,
Mm,
because they always seem the women as just a strong counterpart. So I never really felt, maybe because I was just, I was so young that I didn't
mhm.
look at it that way. And and I never looked at it as an objectified, or women being objectified at all. It was just, oh, just strong woman and she's naked.
Yeah, it to
Yeah.
me, it's like this because I've had many of women who have had the same answer you just had. They didn't feel as though they were objectified. It's like some
Yeah.
women have said, "Hey, look, if you're a beautiful woman, and if that's what you want to do, fine, go ahead and flaunt it." Some women have said, that they didn't like the fact that half of the people were being objectified, probably because for some reason, and some of the films, it was just there just to satisfy the target audience, which was adolescent boys,
Yeah,
adolescent teenage boys, just to
that's
satisfy
true.
them. Yeah,
You have your audience.
yeah, no, because that's who they thought were only seeing this particular film was adolescent and teenage boys, not
Yeah,
understanding the fact that there were a lot of women going to see horror films,
uh,
going to see horror films too.
totally. And but back then too, like, horror was meant to be trashy,
Hmm.
like Kevin Bacon, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people were kind of embarrassed that their film career started out in
Hmm.
horror, because, it just doesn't seem that way. But because they kind of, I mean, if you think of it, they objectified the men too, like, just, I would say so. Like, because, you always had those sex scenes and stuff.
Hmm.
But I
Oh
said,
yeah, because put it this way, Jennifer Aniston, she never admits that she was a leprechaun.
I
Yeah,
know,
that
oh
was her first
god,
movie,
so
and she
good.
never admits that she was in that movie. It's like she finally, I think she finally said, "Okay, yes, I was a leprechaun," but she never would state the fact that that
No,
was her first movie that was in. Yeah, I
and
mean
it's like, dude,
Jason
yeah,
Alexander and all those other people that were in The Burning. You know, yeah,
yes.
yeah,
It's just all
it's
these great movies, and, like, look at today. Now, like,
mm,
a horror movie actually won an Oscar.
oh yeah.
You know? So we've come a long way from the trashy '80s horror.
Uh, yeah, that's one of the things I was very happy that not just for Sinners, but for Weapons too, for Amy
Yeah.
Madigan to get the Best Supporting Actress for Weapons,
Mhm.
and for obviously all the great work that Ryan Coogler and everyone else did for Sinners. And
Yeah.
I love the fact that they were able to recreate that scene in the Oscars that we saw in Sinners, with
Yes.
Miles Stanton singing the song. And we see
Yeah.
all the that was it was so great seeing that again. That's how much I enjoyed. Everyone enjoyed that particular scene.
Yeah.
I was actually hoping that Jack O'Connor would get up and do Rocky Road for Dublin. I love that song too.
Oh my god. It was just great. It's just so awesome. It feels like we're like we're seeing now. Like, oh,
Hmm.
they see us. They see us. They actually see the art
Yeah,
in
they actually see
horror.
the art and the fact that horror is finally getting the respect that it deserves.
It totally deserves.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the rape revenge films? Do you think that a male writer director can faithfully make them, or do you think that's more of a woman's choice to make any films that show rape revenge films or essays?
So I saw for the first time, what's, the series, where it's like, gosh, I can't think of it. Is it not Drag Me to Hell? Oh, I can't think of it. Um, it's where the
Who stars
woman,
in it?
it's an older movie. I think it's gotta be in the '70s, and, she's, the woman,
Oh, I
she
Spit on Your
lives.
Grave.
Yes, I Spit on Your Grave.
Uh,
So, I watched those movies for the first time about 3 years ago, and to
yeah.
be honest, I don't think a man would be able to, really, put himself in the woman's position, to feel that kind of, feeling that if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Let me see, like if you're in an elevator, let's
Mhm.
say, as a woman, if you're in the elevator and there's a man in there, you just kind of and you see he presses four, you just press five. Just as a woman, that's
Mhm.
just a safety thing. So I don't think a man can just, in my opinion, can put himself in a woman and feel that vulnerability
Mhm.
to know how it would feel to get the revenge. You know, um, personally. I don't
Mhm.
think.
Yeah, because when I looked at the original "I Spit on Your Grave,"
Yeah,
and there's a scene in that particular film when the woman goes for her revenge, and she basically almost allows the man to do the same thing that he essayed her for, and I can't see the average woman wanting to do that
that's
just to get revenge, you know.
see, and I
Uh,
don't I don't know. I wouldn't know how crazy somebody gets.
Yeah,
People
yeah. Then again, then again, I don't. We really don't know
I
what
yeah,
anybody would do in that particular instant. Would you actually do that again just to get revenge, knowing how traumatic that
yeah,
was? Yeah.
yes. All I know is that I'm really happy that I know somebody who has a pig farm. So
Mhm.
let me say that. That's so bad.
That's okay. Okay. Do you think women directors of horror films are finally getting the respect that they deserve?
Yeah. There's I let me see, there's still I don't think because I don't I don't notice as like them showing like how should I say? Um I don't notice the directors as much. Like if
Mm,
it's a woman, I recognize if I hear like James Wong or somebody, you know what I mean? Like somebody I recognize
mhm.
directing a film, but I don't really no, that's bad on me. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay. Uh, I would say two female directors I think did a pretty good job. One of them is Mary Lambert. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Mary Lambert from the original 1989 Pet Cemetery. Did
Oh,
Yeah, who did a fantastic job in directing the film, but her name is nowhere near the credits. She doesn't get any recognition about how great it is. We see Stephen King's name all over the place, which is okay because it's his
yeah.
book. But
Yes.
how about give Mary Lambert some credit? She did a job.
The fact that it took us a while to come up with a name and stuff like that, then yes,
Mm,
women just do not get the recognition that they
yeah.
deserve because I
Uh,
couldn't come up with anybody's name off the top of my head. I mean, you see Robert Shea's name, and the Nightmare on Elm Street. You see all those names, like I said, James Long, or Toby from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I can't think of his name.
Toby Hooper.
Toby
Toby.
Herbert. But women, I cannot recall a single name from, like, the
Uh,
beginning credits?
yeah. Now, Caroline Friegert, who did Revenge and The Substance, I thought she got some recognition for what she did in The Substance and for her other movie Revenge. I think she is an up and coming horror film director. And
Yeah.
Nina DaCosta, who did 28 years later, The Bone Temple, she got a lot of praise
Yes.
for that. So they're starting to get some of the recognition or the respect that they deserve, but it's still going to take a while.
Oh, big
Uh, I
time.
think it's I think it mainly because if their films don't do that good in the box office, everyone's going to say, "See, that's what happens when you put a woman in charge." But no, but
Exactly.
but they're starting to break through. So hopefully, we'll see more women get the recognition they deserve for directing horror films.
Yeah, because a bunch of us women, we love horror, we have ideas?
Mm. All right. So, what led you to create your YouTube channel?
Oh, it's kind of funny. Well, my the partner I used to have, he and I were we just enjoy movies. We enjoy anything that's got to do with like 80s pop culture?
Mhm.
So we started doing like little podcast thing. And then he was a musician And he cracks me up, and I'm always laughing, and I always feel like he always has me on a good mood. And so we decided to start listening to music outside of the United States. So I'm totally into metal, and now I'm now off on my own.
Mhm.
And whatchamacallit. So I love this this great quote. It was somebody always says this, that rock left the United States and moved to Japan. So there, the metal there is insane. And so I've been listening to like metal music and rock music from like Italy, Indonesia,
Mhm.
Japan, UK, the Netherlands, Sweden, just, I mean, all over the United States. And I would have never in a million years would have heard these bands or heard this music if it wasn't for um, getting in this like reaction land.
Yeah.
So I love it though. I love it.
Or what led you to come up with the title?
Well, it's funny that at home with the Gringa. So
Mm.
the channel I was on was Tequila Jimmy and the Gringa, because he used to always call me the Gringa.
Mhm.
And whenever he used to get a little sauced, I used to call him, oh, I used to be like, okay, here comes Tequila Jimmy. So when he's like, what should we call our channel? And I'm like, I don't know, let's call it Tequila Jimmy and the Gringa.
Sort of like
So
the the sound like the male version of Gringo. I mean, the female version of Gringo. Yes.
Gringa, yes. So now since like and the channel did really well. And so since people just know me as the Gringa, I
Mhm.
was like, well, let me do my own channel, since he was doing, because he decided to rebrand. So I was like, okay, well, let me try it. I'm like, I guess we can go at home with the Gringa. So I'm like, that
Oh
sounds
yeah,
nice.
yeah,
Everybody come home and hang out with me.
yeah.
So
Yes, yeah, yeah. Andy Cham's doing very well.
I know, so far so good. So far
Yeah.
so good. I'm lucky, and honestly lucky to have like a community of people that are just wonderful, wonderful people. And then and through the community, they introduced me to Mercy, and then Mercy
Mhm.
introduced me to you. So it's just
Yeah.
amazing how everything happens, you know?
Yes, 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 yeah. The horror community and everything what Mercy does, what I do, we know we all love each other and we all get together and we all have fun.
Yes.
Because
Oh,
it's
we
like
do.
this. It's like this growing up. Obviously, during the '70s, we didn't have social media, we didn't have internet. There was no anything like that, and of course, being the weird guy that
Mhm.
I was growing up, loving horror films, I didn't have a lot of people I could that loved horror films like me. And people thought
Exactly.
I was weird. They didn't understand.
Yes.
Oh, no, no, Monty, why you like this horror shit? You're weird. You like that
Yes.
bloody shit.
Like, what's wrong with
So,
you? I
yeah,
agree.
it's
Like,
like,
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, it's like so being introduced to the horror genre and being
Mm.
introduced to the horror community and seeing all the other people that love horror like myself,
Yes.
it's finally get a chance to talk and enjoy something that we all love, which is horror.
Oh, it's true. Like when I was growing up, me and my younger sister, we used to always, and I just remember it like it was yesterday. My mom
Mm,
used to like heat up nacho cheese and get some nachos for us. And we would sit in front of the TV and watch Monsters, Tales of the Dark Side, Freddy's
mm,
Nightmares, and Friday the 13th, the series,
mm,
every single weekend. I loved it. And then we used to go to, to the mom and pop, rental store, video rental store, or
yep.
go to Blockbuster, and we would
Mm,
just grab stuff. So like my favorites were like Dolls. I love the movie Dolls. I love the movie Troll. But it was me and my younger sister, and I didn't have like any friends that were like really into horror like me and my sisters were. Even my older sister, she just loves the slasher movies. But like I
mm.
always felt like, we were kind of like the Adams family, like like, look at these weirdos, like they're so and but yeah, now that with social media, it's so amazing that there's so many people that love horror. And I'm through Twitter, I just, there's so many accounts that I follow. Like there's this great one, I think it's called like Julia, it's like I don't know what it's like Julia Childs, but it's not, and she does all these great horror baked goods. It's
Mhm.
great. So it's like,
Mhm.
oh, look at even a baker doing all these crazy stuff. So I love the
I
horror
know.
community.
Well, because there's a she used to be on YouTube, but now she's actually branched out further called the Homicidal Homemaker, and she makes all these horror-inspired recipes.
I love that.
Yeah.
That makes me happy. Like there's
Uh,
the horror conventions here in Florida. There's in Tampa and in Orlando. I think they changed the name of the one in Tampa, but it's called Spookala was in
mhm,
Tampa, and then Spooky Empire in Orlando. And it's great. And so they would have like, the meet and greets in the side. So everybody had their little booth where you can get autographs
mhm,
and they had like vendor shops. But yeah, there was a girl who had like chocolate that was a Ouija board.
mhm.
It was so cool, like the planchette and everything. Oh
Yeah.
man, I love going to those horror conventions.
Yeah, because I went to, as you can see, I had the Monster Mania Con they had here and near Philly and in Jersey, and later in May I'm going to the Crypticon with a couple of my friends,
Oh,
Dan and Corey from Horror Addicts. I'm going there,
oh,
and yeah, I'm going there in Seattle in May.
oh, that's so much fun. See, I love it. I love the
Mm-hmm.
community.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we should I know I have to like plan something. I want to plan like yeah, so I can like meet Mercy and in real life.
Yeah. Speaking since you love 80s horror,
Yes.
who is your favorite slasher?
Okay. Well, Michael, of course, Michael. Actually, I have they have these tattoos here. I don't know if you could see them. Oh yeah, you
I
can.
can see him. Oh yeah, I
So
can see him. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
so there's Freddie, and then
Yeah.
and then there's Jason, Tex,
Mm-hmm.
and then and then Leatherface and
Texas Chain.
Michael. And I just
Okay.
love this. It's a
Oh.
fun tattoo. It's like I love it. So it's kind of like choose your weapon.
Mm.
But I do. I love Michael the most. And actually my favorite is my favorite movie, my favorite horror movies of all time. So it was, is the original Halloween, the
Mhm.
original Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Rosemary's Baby.
Ooh.
Rosemary's Baby is like I would say I can watch that movie every month. Just everything about it. And and now women in horror, Mia
Mm.
Farrow, that role she plays is so amazing. And I think she was going through a divorce with Frank Sinatra at the time, but you
I
couldn't
think so.
tell. Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't. Yeah, yeah. Because I remember it was right before she met Roman. Right before she actually got with Roman Polanski.
Yes. So the
Mm.
fact that she was going through all that and having this beautiful and I just it's such an amazing movie and I just love it because it's like the betrayal of her
Mm.
husband is just beyond, So I think that's why I like it the most because I'm just like, oh, what a jerk. What a horrible man.
I know. Okay, here's a good one. Who is your favorite final girl and why?
My favorite final girl is definitely Jamie Lee Curtis. It
Mm.
is 100% because it's the person I just remember. You know what I mean? The one that I just watched growing up. I literally could watch Halloween like every week. I just love watching that movie so much. And I still get excited. And it's so funny. I watch it all the time. But when she's going across the street, and she's trying to get
Mm.
the keys and she's like, the keys, I still get crazy. And I'm still like, oh my God, open the door. And I mean, I know they open the door on a time, but I still get like really worked up. But
Uh,
she's my favorite. And I love her in prom night. I just
okay.
love her in prom night.
Yeah. Do you think Scott Taylor Compton and did you actually enjoy Rob Zombie's version of Halloween? And did you enjoy Scott Taylor Compton's performance as Laurie Strode?
I enjoyed the Rob Zombies, the first Halloween he did, not the second one.
Okay.
But the first one I didn't think I was gonna like it at all.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even go to the movies. I was just kind of like, "Mm." But a friend of mine made me watch it and was
Mm.
like, just look at it more as like the psychology, going into the psychology and why he is the way he is, which is fantastic because that's why I go to therapy. to see why I am the way I am. So so to look at it that way, it was amazing. It was amazing when I looked at it in a different, like, perspective, you know?
Okay. All right. My final question for you,
Okay.
Gringa, is if you could write a horror
Oh.
movie, what kind of
Mhm.
horror movie would it be? And what? And I probably figured the subgenre is probably going to be a slasher film.
You are going to okay, so this is like a dream of mine. Maybe I'll do it one day. But okay, so I collect Barbies,
Hmm.
vintage Barbies and really nice Barbies. So I kind of want and you know how they have like all the what are they called? Action figures
Okay.
for like who does those like NECA, not NECA, but
Yeah,
those
NECA.
NECA does
Those-
like the really amazing ones.
Yeah, the NECA
um
does that. Yes.
Beautiful. So and they're and I believe they're 12-inch just like Barbie. So
Hmm.
I would love to make a movie where like it's Barbie at the camp,
Hmm.
a bunch of Barbies are at the campsite and they're getting chased by Jason. And I
Hmm.
kind of want and I want it to be like I just in my head, that's what I would do. I would do Barbie in like probably camp counselor Barbie
Hmm.
in Camp Crystal Lake. But it would have to be with like actual Barbies, like
Yeah.
stop
Make
action.
a horror movie about Barbie.
I would, like, where Barbie is the final girl,
uh,
Like, because that's actually, you think about it, after all the things that Barbie has ever been, she's never been the final girl. I gotta make
oh
that
yeah.
happen.
Yeah. We never actually had a final girl Barbie before. That would be something
Yes.
interesting.
And you know what? I
Hey.
should have worn my shirt because I have a V-neck shirt, it was really cute, and
Uh,
it's these slash it's my slashers, and they're
uh,
in, Barbie boxes, and it's
oh.
pink, and it's so cute, and they all I can't I should have wore it, but yeah, they're all in
That's okay.
Barbie boxes.
If we on Mercy's channel again, just wear that when we're on Mercy's channel.
I'm gonna wear it. Yes, I am. I
Yeah,
love it so much. Yeah, I mean, the slashers in
yeah,
Barbie boxes, I
yeah.
mean,
Because
it's
I'm gonna
great.
be with Mercy on the 27th. We're going to watch The Beast Within.
Oh, I'll probably be with you.
Okay, yeah, if you're gonna be there, wear that. That's gonna be great.
I'm gonna wear that. I'm gonna wear it for sure. It's
Oh
been such a joy. I love this. I'm so glad that we got connected with each other.
yes.
And I literally love your mind. You were like throwing out stuff that like I'm like, oh my goodness, over my head.
Mhm.
I'm like, I gotta look that up later. But oh my God, this is amazing. You are just very fascinating and I loved it.
Yes, yes. Because one thing I've always, because my mother always raised me up to respect women, and I always felt as though that when I first heard about women in horror, probably way back maybe after the pandemic,
Yeah.
and I found out that this was a grassroots organization, and they were finally deciding to give women the respect they deserve for what they contributed in the horror genre, and
Yeah.
it was basically done in February. But because it did not want
Oh.
to compete with Black History Month, they moved it to March.
Oh, that is beautiful. That
They
makes
moved it to
I
March.
love that.
Uh, and so what
Mhm.
I did was, so you know what? I just want something to do. So I created my Women in Horror series. And
Yeah.
because about how popular the Grasswoman was, they
Mhm.
decided to do a year-round celebration, not just doing one focus on one month. So I said that's what I'm going to do too. So I've been doing my Women in Horror series. This is the second year in a row I've done it for the whole entire year.
I love it. Yes, I caught a couple episodes of it and I was just like,
Uh,
this is great. I
mm,
love what you're doing. And even I'm just gonna ramble on here. There was a great documentary I saw. It was the Black History of Horror. Like
yeah,
and
horror
it
noir.
yes, I
Mhm.
saw that. It was amazing. I was like, this is smart. It was such a smart documentary. I
Oh yes,
loved it.
yes. Yeah, because I actually did a video with some of my favorite African American YouTubers. I did that
Yes.
up. Yeah, if you take a look, you actually see that that's up on my channel too. It was a great
That's
time. It's
great.
something I always wanted to do, and we had a
Yes,
great time. Yes.
it is. And which brings me back to the Night of Living Dead. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wonderful
because
movies.
you really had to give George A. Romero credit because everyone
100%.
told him not to cast him in that role, but he fought for him, and he was
Mhm.
right because he
It was
said
perfect.
when he wrote the script, he did not have race was not a factor. He just happened to pick the African American actor because he said
Yeah.
he auditioned for the role. He said, "I want him."
That it was amazing. So, yes, I love this. I love what you're doing for horror. Thank you so much.
Well, I wanted to thank you once again for coming on.
Of
We
course.
appreciate you coming on, and hopefully we will see each other again on the 27th. And if you would like to become, because I also do a another live stream every month called the Horror Hangout live stream.
Done.
So you're going to come and join us and have a blast, so we can just talk about horror. Because I know most of my people, especially my friend Jen and my
Yeah.
animated girlfriend Triv from Triv, they would love you.
Oh, good. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love networking with my people. I call us I call myself, I belong on the island of misfit toys. And so I
Uh,
love finding my people who also belong on the island with me. You know what I mean? We're misfits at heart. You know what I mean?
So once again, everyone, this is again at home with Jinga. I'll get that correct. I will leave her link to her channel in the description box
Yes.
below. And once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Money G. And always remember, horror rules. All right, everyone, stay safe out there.